Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Flavio Diaz. I'm your graduate admissions counselor here for the College of Communications. I want to thank you all for making us a part of your evening, and thank you for joining us for the DePaul University Spring Open House. So today we're going to present to you our five different graduate programs and all of their different offerings. So the agenda will go as follows. We'll kick things off with a College of Communications overview presented by our very own Director of Graduate Studies, Dr. Matt Regis. And as you can see, we're also joined by our esteemed faculty and program representatives of the different graduate programs that we offer. So we'll allow them to highlight their program and share some fun facts before going off into an admissions requirement overview, which I will discuss, and then wrap things up with a Q&A panel and discussion. So as I mentioned, there will be plenty of time for questions at the end, but I know sometimes questions might pop up as we go through the presentation. So please feel free to drop those in the chat as well. I will be keeping an eye on them. Or if a thought comes after the presentation, you can always follow up and email us your questions at gradcom@depaul.edu. So before we continue, please just review those programs that are listed on the right-hand side of the slide. And if you don't see your program of interest, you might be in the wrong session. So please make sure that you go back to that main portal and that you check in with the info booth so that you may be redirected to the right session. Oh, with that, we're going to transition over to DePaul at a glance, and I'll let Matt take it away.
Hey, thanks very much, Flavio, and thanks everybody for joining us for about the next hour. We know that if you're in Chicagoland, the weather's pretty swell outside, so we particularly appreciate you spending time with us. First of all, big shout out to Flavio Diaz, is your go-to on the grad admission team here for the College of Communication. And I'm joined this evening by a group of fantastic colleagues in the College of Communication who, between us, represent all five of our graduate programs here in the college. Some of you may actually, who are joining us this evening, may have done your undergrad at DePaul, and maybe you're going to become a double demon. And we're going to talk about the tuition discount and the benefits of being a double demon. But for some of you, maybe you're considering DePaul for the first time. So let me tell you really briefly a bit about DePaul University. We are the nation's largest Catholic university. We're the largest private university in the Midwest. While we're the nation's largest Catholic university, we come from all different faiths, believers, non-believers. Everybody is very much welcome at DePaul and in Chicago. We have over 20,000 students, including a very large grad student population. We are tonight, you're exploring the College of Communication. So we're one of 10 colleges and schools here at DePaul. We have alums all over the US, all over the planet, more than 200,000 alums living in over 50 countries. But the majority of our alums choose to call the Windy City home. So over 100,000 of our alums live and work in the Chicago area. When you choose to do a master's degree at DePaul, not only do you get to work closely with these fine folks, these scholars that you're going to meet this evening, but you get to live and work and play in Chicago. And so we say very much Chicago is our research laboratory, Chicago is our classroom, and you could also think about it kind of our sandbox. There's always stuff to kind of get into. DePaul is very comprehensive, 300 plus undergrad and graduate programs. We have representation across all 50 US states, and our classes, for the most part, reflect that diversity and I think the world that we want to live in and see. And then we have a high, I guess you could think of it, Flavio, as like a high kind of placement or success
Career
rate. So
success.
you can see that, and we'll talk some more about this, but very much our grad students are employed or continuing their education or pursuing additional goals upon graduation. Why the College of Communication? So we're going to get into this, and in a minute, I'm going to hand the floor over to each of my colleagues, Dr. Close, Dr. Dang, Dr. Pena, and our pinch hitter this evening, Dr. Blair Davis. We have 5 award-winning graduate programs, so not only do we think our grad programs are pretty great, but we've got third-party recognition that supports that. You're going to find across all the grad programs practical skills-based communication training that's going to help elevate you in your career and also, I think, become a stronger contributor to your communities and to society. As we've talked about, we're located in Chicago. Chicago is a cultural hub. It's a media hub. It's a communication and nonprofit hub. Something else that you're going to learn and hear about is we do have really remarkable colleagues who are very much they're award-winning scholars and researchers. They're also award-winning. I think we would call them teacher mentors. And so not only are your professors going to get to learn your name and build a personal relationship with you, but they're going to learn about like where you're looking to go. And so, we take time out to send you internship opportunities, job opportunities, recommend you. I was just at a book launch party last night for an agency leader in Chicago. And of course, we made a point of making sure that some of our PR and advertising current students and alums were invited to it, and we're mixing with senior leaders. Professional associations and networking. I mean, everything happens pretty much in Chicago and comes through Chicago. And so recently thinking about our MPOP, Medium Popular Culture colleagues, gigantic presence and booth at C2E2. Very vibrant presence there with the students hands-on co-creating literally the booth and the materials and the content. Experiential learning opportunities. I don't know if we're gonna maybe play that actually, Flavia. So yeah, let's take a look. We just got to be sure when you just sharing as a reminder, just click also the sound, the audio, and the video optimization.
Yes, let me know if you can hear that well.
So Chicago summers, it's an exciting time to be here. There's a lot going on, and Lollapalooza is sort of the gem within Chicago summers. We developed this class in 2020, and we've been running it ever since. We start off-site, meeting with local industry people. Then we start on-site at Lollapalooza, where we learn about the operations of the festival.
I looked at DePaul, saw that they had Lolla U, and I was like, this is awesome. And so I decided, okay, once I'm here, I'm going to be taking that class. This is everything I want to do and everything that maybe I want to do, so let's try it.
So this class is fan conventions and events, where students learn all about fan conventions just like this and get to have real-world experience putting on events and experiences. Today we had 3 different groups of students. One of them did a panel, one of them designed the booth that you see around me, and then a third group actually designed a whole video game lounge for a different convention.
So the New York Way class is designed for students who are interested in learning about what it's like to do journalism in New York City. One of my favorite parts about the New York Way program is that we have students from earlier years in the program who now themselves are living and working in New York City and have become hosts for some of our alumni. So it's really wonderful to see them form those relationships.
It opens up a big opportunity for them to understand new pockets of the industry that maybe even as a student in their first few years they weren't aware existed.
I knew I wanted to do environmental work, but I wasn't a scientist. And actually when we were at Reuters, we spoke to a journalist who's working on an environmental piece right now, which made me feel more confident in continuing to pursue that.
This study abroad was focused on fashion, branding, and sustainability, and it was just really cool to be able to do that in Brazil.
Students had a chance to understand how
culture, identity, and storytelling shape branding like Farm Rio, Oficina Muro.
Yeah, it was definitely different than like a classroom set because you were actually doing it. Because it's more hands-on, you're actually taking in and experiencing it rather than just like hearing.
It really is a great opportunity for students to meet people and network in ways that in classroom classes cannot do.
For me, it's really important that they take that learning about media industries and they can apply it to whatever it is that they want to do.
Sometimes you see this moment that's really an important moment in somebody's life, and you see it happen in front of you. Those are really important moments for me too.
Very nice. And that's just a snapshot, once again, of those opportunities that we offer here in our classes across our different programs. And with that, we can move over to our program overviews, getting started with journalism. And we have our very own Vincent Pena here to share more about the journalism program.
Dr. Pena, I'm going to do
Dr.
not
Pena.
that needs me doing PR for the journalism program, but guys, there's a journalism alum literally with a story on the front page of the New York Times today. So take it away, Dr. Pena.
Thank you so much, Flavio, Dr. Vegas. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Vincent Pena, and I'm talking to you about journalism. And just real quick, Flavio, we have a couple minutes here. We're just like kind of cliff notes, right? Like, excellent. So yeah, I'll actually start off with there. I'll get into the nitty gritty of the details of the program, but suffice to say that we've had a nice stretch of success here in the journalism program from both former grad students as well as former undergrads. We had 4 take home a Pulitzer Prize as part of their work with the Chicago Tribune this week. One who graduated 2 years ago, a couple who graduated in the last 10 years. And then, of course, as Dr. Vegas said, we had a student who is currently working for the Times, just moved back, but had one of her pieces published on the front page. Funny enough, I read it yesterday, didn't see the byline, so I did not even know it was by her. So this morning I was like, oh, that was a great story. It was very excellent, very surprising news. But so the MA program, it's we have kind of newly restructured, but generally the same. It's an in-person. You can take up to, you do it as little as 2 years. You basically take 12 courses or 48 credit hours. And you can tailor your degree, much like a lot of our degrees. We kind of take this build your own adventure approach where we have concentrations. We have the 4 listed here: accountability, data, multimedia, and sports. But you can really pick and choose and play around with the classes that you take to align with what it is you want to do. So if someone wants to do really like stats and analytics, but they're into sports or they're into music or data or environmental journalism, you can combine the two. You don't have to they're not mutually exclusive. And so you come in and you pick one of those. We also have an alternate, not alternate. What's the word? Optional Latino media and communication concentration that you can also add either like as its own or take it in addition to one of the other 4. And then from there you take basically we have, depending on your experience, some students come in if they have a journalism background, they can just jump right in and get started. And some who come to a journalism program for our MA but they don't have a journalism background or studied sociology, political science, some other field, we have like a reporting boot camp that basically gets you caught up and kind of ready to go with the rest of your peers. And so a couple things about you see like when you start, it's a rolling acceptance. But we do offer a number of student media organizations and outlets. And so we have our student, the DePaulia and La DePaulia, both the English and Spanish version of our newspaper, the Radio DePaul Sports and Entertainment, 14 East and Pueblo, the English and Spanish versions of our magazine. And then we have a TV station, Good Day DePaul. And so there's ample opportunity to just hit the ground running and start doing journalism when you come here. And as Dr. Vegas said, we use the Chicago as our classroom. That used to be our actual slogan of the university, but now it is kind of just the ethos that we are guided by, because our students are out there. We get out there in the city. They're reporting on things within the city and the community. And so there's ample opportunity to get involved and to get bylines and to be prepared. And again, I just mentioned, not because it was very fortuitous for us today, but our students are out there doing great work, even beyond the ones who just won Pulitzers and are in the New York Times. We have folks at the Chicago Tribune, the Sun Times, so ESPN, The Athletic, HuffPost, Reuters, Pointer Institute, WBEZ here in Chicago. So we're all over the place, and our faculty and our students do very well. So the program's great. It allows you to kind of mix and match how you want to do it. And I think I'm a little bit at time now, so I'll wrap it up there. But really just a wonderful way to I guess amplify your career and build on some skills you might already have. And you have so much to do when you're here to do it. So yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you, Dr. Vincent Pena. And with that, we'll move off to our Master of Arts in Public Relations and Advertising. And we have Dr. Tony Dang, who will talk more about it.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tony Dang. I am assistant professor here in the PR and advertising program. Our master program actually are pretty famous and nationwide. We consistently win the PR Week Award for the nation's best PR program. So this year we got in the top 5. In 2022 and 2018, we actually win the top spot in the PR Week's the best PR program in Chicago, which is quite a recognition from the PR industry folks. Our program consists of in-person classes, and we actually take many of our classes to our community partners. We have students that collaborating with research projects and advertising campaign projects with real-world partners here in Chicago. We're actually surrounded by a lot of different business and community partners, NGOs, and some of those, and we always inviting them into our classroom to be our client. So in the classroom, you're not only just working in a theoretical background or learning about the skills and knowledge, but you're also working on real world advertising and PR projects and campaigns, actually, which are leading to a real portfolio that you can put in your CV and put in your portfolio website to showcasing that you are actually working in real world campaigns and real world cases. So you take graduate classes, and you can pick 2 graduation paths in the MA in Public Relations Advertising program. Either one is the first one is a portfolio project, which you compile all the work you learn and you do in this in 2 years here working at DePaul into a full portfolio of you to showcasing your work, your project, and your presentations. If you can bring in some real world cases, that would be fantastic. So that is one path that you can graduate with a PR and advertising MA degree. The second one is to pursue a thesis, so a graduate master thesis, which will be ideal if you're looking for to further pursue your education in a postgraduate program, like a PhD program. In the thesis research route that you conduct research with supervising faculty, that we can actually help you to grab out a really long research thesis paper. We do have the students that pick that route. We're lovely to see that students are actually using research to further their career. So the program also have the optional Latino and media and communication concentration. So you can pick some classes that is relating to Latino and media communication, and then you get on this optional kind of concentrations in your award. So we also provide a lot of research and other opportunities outside of the prep programs. So the Center of Communication and Engagement in the College of Communication offers many different types of labs. So we have the Media and Engagement Research Lab, which I am the co-director of the lab, that we actually using eye trackings, facial EMGs, heart rates, and skin conductance to actually measure how the consumers respond physically to media messages. That is really an interesting point in advertising research. We get to know how the viewers of a commercial actually physically respond to the piece of advertisement that we show them. It had a wide range of different kind of research capabilities, so it's all open to our students. If you want to participate in faculty lead research projects, the Media and Engagement Lab is one way to just pursue that. If you have your own kind of research agenda, or you want to be trained in these advanced eye tracking and psychophysiology research methods, the Media Lab is also a really good home. The Center of Communication and Engagement also had a VR lab, AR lab, streaming lab, podcast, studio, and all these different way that you can engage and to learn a different way to produce media and investigate how media impact consumers and general people. So there's a wide range of different opportunity that we offer beyond just this type of programs. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Deng. And just to reiterate, those innovative technology labs and resource centers, as you mentioned, are available to all students across all graduate
Yes.
programs, and really a great way to build your skill set, as you were mentioning. Thank you. Moving on to our Master of Arts in Communication and Media, and we have Dr. Blair Davis here to tell us a little bit more. Take it away.
Great. Thank you, Flavio. And hi, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight. I'm here representing the Communication and Media MA program. And this is a degree if you are interested in studying. We have two different concentrations, one of which is media and popular culture, in which this is the home of the courses like the C2E2 course, like the Lala U course, and then also courses in studying all of the different media industries that make up the wide range of popular culture. We have courses in film and media theory. We have courses in fan studies. We have courses in media production, and then everything from board games to comic books to television studies are represented by the different faculty that we have who are experts in these particular media. And then on the other side of the degree, we have these two concentrations, that one of which you will declare upon entry, either the media and popular culture side of this degree or the applied communication side, in which you would be studying more things to do with human communication, how human beings interact with one another in a variety of different fields, whether it be the workplace and organizations, whether it be nonprofits, whether it be face-to-face, interpersonal. We have courses to do with how teams communicate, courses in multicultural communications, courses to do with gender and communication. And so we have these two concentrations, but the beauty of it is that you would be able to take courses across the two different areas. You are not limited to just one set of courses or another. You would be able to study media and popular culture, but then take courses in a workplace organization side of things, or look at how gender impacts how human beings communicate with one another. We have a lot of students who go on to work at some really fantastic media corporations, places like Apple, like Amblin Entertainment, and then as well at the local level at many of our local Chicago media institutions like Facets Movie Theater, for example. And then another fantastic thing is that so many of our MA students write and publish. They publish a lot of articles. They also publish a lot of books. Many of our graduates go on to write books for Rutledge, University of Kentucky Press is one that he just published a book on Jonathan Demme. And then I actually co-wrote a book with one of our graduate students from our program called Comic Book Women with Peyton Brunet, who graduated about 4 years ago, I want to say, from our program. And it is a book about the history of women in the comic book industry that went on to win 3 different Best Book of the Year awards. And it wasn't me, it was her that was the impetus for how great that book turned out. So many of our graduates will go on to do a lot of writing projects. A lot of our graduates will also go on to PhD programs and go on to some of the top programs across the country. So we're a pre-PhD program. We're also a program for students that are looking to get into the media industries in Chicago, and then also some great opportunities across the country in looking at media and popular culture and things like workplace communication. So I'll leave it at there. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer more.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Very nice overview. And then we'll roll on over to the Master of Arts in Digital Communication and Media Arts, and we have Dr. Sam Close to tell us more.
Hello. So I'm really glad to be able to talk to you about this program. This is a unique program because it is a collaboration between the College of Communication and the College of Computing and Digital Media. And so we really have a blend of theory and practice, and you're going to be spending as much time working on theory and understanding how the digital communication world works as you are spending over in the College of Design or the School of Design working on, like, what does it mean to storytell? How do I craft a creative project and bring something together? And so there's a lot of practice and theory that goes on in this program. you take kind of half of your classes in each one of the colleges. And so there are core classes that are related to digital communication, digital media ethics, but you also get to take electives from all of these other programs that you've been hearing about. So you can really personalize your degree. The choose your own adventure is very much a hallmark, I think, of the College of Communication graduate programs. And then when you get to the point of coming to the end of your degree, you can choose to do something like take a paper that you wrote for a class. One of my students 2 years ago who wrote a paper for the digital media ethics class said, I want to be a video essayist. And so we worked for her finishing option, a scholarly project, and turned it into a video essay that I just checked as we were talking earlier has 119,000 views on YouTube, about why adult content was so important on Tumblr and what the adult content ban did to that community. And I think it's a really beautiful example of the theory practice that happens in this degree. And I will leave it at there and let us take questions.
Yes. And before we take questions, last but not least, our Master of Arts in Professional Communication from Dr. Vegas.
Yeah, thanks very much, Flavio. So, before I just give a little snapshot of our MA in Professional Communication, which we call ProCom, just listening to my colleagues, I hope all of you can see that these are exactly the type of professors, the faculty that you want to learn from, that you want to level up with and build that relationship with, and have to support you. So there's really no bad choices, but only good options among these five programs. So just to wrap things up, another hat I wear is as our lead faculty rep for Procom. This program is some things that are unique about it that you all should know. It is cohort based. And so while you can apply year round, you take your classes together as a cohort, as a shared learning community. And right now we're recruiting for cohort 6. Cohort 6 will kick off with a virtual residency, 2 half days before classes officially start in September. So classes start for us after Labor Day. So that is something to be aware of. You've still got time right now. It's a fully online program. It's accelerated. It was built from the ground up to be completed in 1 year. I do say it's very much like when you get on the merry-go-round, you need to then stay on the merry-go-round. And if you do that, it's kind of a concierge service where our fantastic grad advisor for all of our grad programs, Seth Horning, will enroll you in your classes. And if you do that, you will finish in 1 year, but it does mean that you'll take classes over winter intersession and then make use of our summer 1 and summer 2. This is very much a program that while we do attract some young people that are coming almost directly out of their undergrad experience, it also attracts sort of rising to more mid-career professionals that are looking to, maybe they've been out of school for a while and looking to go back to school and really level up their skill set and their network. This curriculum is at the intersection of strategic communication and organizational communication. I already talked about how you kick off with a virtual residency. It's an online program, but you've got full access to all of DePaul's resources. We also do, many of our students are in Chicagoland, and we optionally get together and meet across the cohorts. So you do get assigned a mentor for your very first class, your very first assignment that I teach. And then the program culminates with a virtual final project showcase. So you will work on a real world project where you use communication to help solve a communication challenge. Could be for your employer, could be for a nonprofit or a community organization. We've had a really wide range of projects. If you're interested, reach out to me. You're invited to it. We always have a big name keynote speaker. This year it's Maxine Weiner, who, after a long career of being a head of PR and communication agencies, now is the CEO of a nonprofit in Chicago. So she's transitioned roles. And I think with that, I'll kind of put a pin on it and throw it back to Flavio so we can get into some your questions.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Regis, and thank you to all the faculty representatives. As Matt mentioned, I hope you can feel how passionate they are about their programs. Certainly enjoy collaborating with all of them to support you. So, how can we support you to get into our graduate programs? Now that you've heard about our programs, let's talk about the general admission requirements. Of course, these requirements vary depending on your program, so please make sure to check that specific website so that you can see the exact details of your program of interest. But in general, all of our programs require a completed bachelor's degree. Again, it does not have to come from a communications related field. Our programs accept undergraduate backgrounds from any prior studies. But we do have a preferred 3.0 GPA. Again, this is a preference, not a strict requirement. There are additional ways to bolster your application if you're a little bit nervous about this 3.0 GPA. But something to note is that we do not require GRE scores. However, they can be submitted to help bolster your application. For our international applicants, we always recommend that you apply far and ahead, just to give yourself plenty of time to go through that visa process and ensure that you're able to join us by your term of interest. So the priority deadlines are listed right there below. As you can see, you can join us as early as the fall. Fall 2026 is our upcoming admitting term, with the application deadline being August 15th. If you're not quite ready to join us in the fall, you can always come in the winter or in the spring or the following fall. And don't forget that you can also defer your admission once within a 12-month period of being admitted. So if you're admitted in the fall, you can join us the following fall or anywhere in between. For our international applicants as well, I just want to call out that you will need to submit the required degree evaluation if you completed your degree abroad. The degree evaluation can either be provided from your own, inquiry through WES, ECE, or Educational Perspectives, or you can choose to go through our own application degree evaluation, which is covered through that $75 application fee. For that reason, we're unable to waive the application fee for international applicants unless you provide us with your own copy of that degree evaluation. Also, for our international applicants, be aware of the English test score requirements. So you do need to submit test scores from either TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. Duolingo seems to be the most popular one. It makes it real easy to send them over to us. But you do need to take these exams and submit your scores. Alrighty. Again, the general application goes as follows. Whenever you're ready, you'll head over to grad.depaul.edu/apply. You'll enter your information. It's pretty standard application. You'll submit that application fee, $40 for domestic students and $75 for international students. Again, the $75 covers your required degree evaluation. You can upload your transcripts. We will need to see transcripts from all credit awarding institutions. So you can choose to send your official transcripts from the get-go, or you can wait after your application is reviewed and you've been admitted. But do be mindful that you do need to arrange to have those official transcripts sent to us. Resume, we just want to see where you're coming from. What's your background? What's your experience looking like? A personal statement. The questions vary by program, so definitely check the websites for the specific prompts. And of course, letters of recommendation for all programs except journalism. Journalism does not require any letters of recommendation, so it's a pretty straightforward process there. And again, just remember, check the specific details of your program through our websites. Yep, this is a repeat. Must have missed that. Of course, we know that coming back to graduate school is a big investment of resources and time. So let's talk about that big factor, how to finance your degree. Our students will typically finance their degree through a combination of loans, scholarships, and personal contributions. So you can see a breakdown here. If you're eligible for FAFSA, you may apply for FAFSA. In fact, that period for the 2026 term is now open. So you can go ahead and submit that FAFSA application. Earlier, the better, because then you can meet with our financial aid office, get that loan counseling, or they can provide you with general guidance related to scholarships, payment plan options, or whatever you need to help you cover the cost. FAFSA will offer you up to $20,500 in new issuance for loans every year. Since most of our programs are 2 years, that does allow you to borrow just about the total cost of those programs in the 2 years if needed. Of course, there are scholarship opportunities. Scholarship opportunities are available through the initial review process as well as post-admission. So once you're admitted, you'll have access to that scholarship portal where you can browse and apply to those different opportunities. They all vary in terms of qualifications, award amounts, and deadlines. So make sure that you review and apply for the ones that you are eligible for. For our current students, there's also what we call tuition waivers that are offered during the fall and in the winter. And it's a pretty straightforward process. We'll send out an email asking who is interested in these tuition waivers, and you can submit your application and hopefully receive one of these, which will cover the cost of one of your classes in a subsequent quarter. And then Matt mentioned briefly the double demon discount. If this is your second time, or if you're coming back to DePaul for a second time to receive a second degree, you are what we consider a double demon, which allows you to unlock that great savings of 25%, essentially a tuition discount. And there's no need for you to apply or submit an application. All you have to do is list that you went to DePaul, and this savings will automatically populate for you. Of course, there are additional ways to get benefits through joining a professional organization such as IABC or PRSA Chicago. For example, they offer 25% savings on our ProCom professional communications program and 10% savings across all of our programs. So these organizations oftentimes have monthly dues of around $200 or $300, but you do unlock that great savings. So it can be worth it if you're looking to save money there. And then, of course, we accept all sorts of external scholarships, awards, grants, tuition benefits, tuition reimbursement, all that good stuff. We're here to work with you through that. Alrighty, that's my spiel. With this, we can open it up to Q&A and discussion. Thank you all for being so patient. I don't think I see any questions in the chat yet. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat or unmute yourself if you're eager. And let's take advantage of this opportunity that we have with our faculty representatives. Who is going to be the brave one? Yes. Is it Nyla?
Yes, perfect.
Yes, go ahead.
So I am a technically undergrad. I have like 2 classes left, so I had applied for like the dual admission program. I currently am a television show running major concentration at Jarvis, and so from that program, I wanted to like specialize in horror movies specifically, and like to understand and like fully study it. So that's why I want to go into the media and popular culture program. I would like to know, is there sort of a concentration, like a class within that has a lot of horror focus or like horror or media focused studies?
I'll speak on the combined
yes and
degree.
yes and yes.
Okay.
Nyla, we are we have so many horror obsessed professors in our media and popular culture concentration, including myself. And then our colleague Kelly Kessler. Our daughters are both teenage horror fans, and now we're going to see any new horror movie that comes out. We have Professor Paul Booth teaches a monsters in popular culture class that I want to say has a cross list at the graduate level, and then we also have I smuggle horror films into my film and media theory course as much as possible, and every time I teach it, we always have so many horror obsessed grad students that the course becomes this case study in horror on a regular basis. I assign them films like Get Out, Raw by Julie Ducournau. We always end up talking about slasher films and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street. And so if there doesn't happen to be a direct horror class specifically in the time that you are here, so many of our pop culture faculty are huge horror fans, and it becomes this major case study of what we do, and then we will always encourage you to be able to apply your sort of week to week thoughts and then major assignments to the case studies that you're most interested in. And so if horror is something that you are really interested in, then we would definitely encourage you to do that. Myself, for example, I am going to apply for a grant very soon to be able to go to Pittsburgh to dig around in the George Romero archives for a new project that I'm doing. I'm a specialist in B movies and old horror movies from the 1950s. And so I'm interested in pursuing that a little more. So you would be in a very good place as a horror fan in our popular culture program.
That's great. That's great. And one final question. I applied like last month. Do you know if I would hear anything back within the coming weeks or probably within the few months?
Matt, can you talk through the
Yeah,
timeline?
I can speak on that. I see. I did pull up your application here. I see we're just waiting on 2 letters of recommendation. So we have
I
everything.
have 2, but I asked for 2 more. So I
Oh, I
can
see
delete
that.
those. Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Well, I'm glad you came in then because we wouldn't have caught that otherwise. So
Oh,
I'll review that and then I'll make the switch and then if
okay.
it's yeah, I
Hey,
see.
Flavio, is that
Yeah,
it's a BA MA is what it sounds
yeah,
like?
that's right.
So Nyla, you said a couple classes left in Jarvis?
Yeah, so I have my experimental learning class and then I make math class.
Okay.
That's all I have to do. And then I asked for 2 letters of recommendation and then from Jess and then Nicola, and then I just in case I asked 2 more from 2 other professors at DePaul.
Okay.
Got
So
it.
normally you can like the way the combined degree works is you're double counting essentially up to 3 classes. So you start taking grad classes really as a undergrad as a senior. So you start knocking out grad classes, but those grad classes, depending on your advisor, you'll be connected then once you get through with Seth Horning, our graduate advisor, and he can figure out then with kind of your how to use those as electives. So it sounds like you might have 2 of those that you'll be able to use.
Okay.
We're just saying that because that's like money savings, like saving you on the cost of the degree.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and I'm happy to follow up on a one-on-one if you need some more instruction or further clarity. We can definitely talk more about that because yeah, your timeline might look a little different is what I think Matt is trying to get at. It might not be that 1 year that you'll complete, but you might have to do some additional courses because you applied a bit later than that junior year.
Okay.
But Seth will still work with you to get you some savings in there.
Okay, thank you.
I would drop a note to help remind Flavio and the grad admissions team. I would drop a note to gradcom@depaul.edu, and that will help prompt them to reach out to you to kind of schedule a one-on-one and help you with next steps.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Flavio, you got a cue, my
Thank you.
friend. I don't know if
I
we
see
saw
it.
the order of what hands
I
went.
didn't. Did you?
I did not. I just saw
I'm pretty
hands
sure
going up.
Sophia was first.
Let's go, Sophia.
All right, Sophia, you're up.
Hi, everybody. My name is
Hey.
Sophia.
Hi.
I'm specifically interested in applying to the Communications and Media program, specifically the Applied Communication concentration. And I know a lot of folks that are entering the school or grad school are, working professionals. I've been kind of in the communications and marketing industry for the past couple of years, and so I wanted to know kind of how does it might just be the broader school of communication, but maybe specifically the communication and media program, like support or like work with working professionals and trying to like kind of connect their coursework to their day-to-day life and jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the applied communication, whereby you've got a lot of students that are in your same sort of position, that are working professionals that are really trying to either upgrade within the company that they're working for now, or to get a better position. And so the majority of the classes that you would take are, I would say, focused on that sort of workplace dynamic, or have room for you to be able to tailor the type of work that you're doing, the assignments that you are doing, to the case study that is most relevant to you. And then as far as things like internships and networking, you've got somebody like Kate Cooper, who is a specialist in organizational communication. You've got then also people like Bruno Taboul, who teaches a whole course on organizational communication that is directly workplace oriented in the methods and the theories that it teaches. So from a theoretical perspective, you're definitely learning the sort of the tools and the theories that will allow you to show a company that you have this superior skill set. And then on a sort of a practical level, if you are looking at more of that sort of network side of things, sit down and talk with some of these professors who, and then sit down and talk with somebody like Matt Regis, depending on the industry that you're interested in, and just pick our brains. We want to, when you thrive, we thrive. When you eat, we eat. It's this sort of rising tide lifts all boats mentality that we really want you to succeed, and we're invested in your success. So there's the sort of the interpersonal side of, how can we help you? What do you need? What can I do for you? And then also, we do have these courses that are sort of directly job and workplace oriented within the communication and media applied communication side, that focuses on organization and that does touch on strategic communication theories as well. So I don't know if that answered every part of your questions.
No, it definitely does. And I see in the chat also that classes are generally in the evening too. So that's good to know for scheduling purposes.
Absolutely. Yeah. 5:45, 6 p.m. they usually start.
Okay. And then the last question I had was just around kind of like size. I wanted to know, like, about how large is the kind of group of communication and media students each year?
Yeah. I don't have the numbers on the incoming amount of students, but your class sizes generally range from about 7 or 8 to I think 15 is the cap. Sometimes when I'll teach a synchronous online, and those tend to be more popular for the flexibility, so you can have 13, 14 people in the Zoom room. But and it depends if it's if it's a required course that everybody takes. But I would say 10, give or take on either side, is a general rule of thumb in our classes.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Davis.
The one thing I was gonna thumbs up on everything Dr. Davis just said. I was just thinking, if I had my evenings right, Tony, you're probably about to head to is the panel with Dr. Koto's class, is the Mars Data and Insights Managers, that's this evening, right?
Yep, it's 6 p.m. starting right now. It's
Yeah,
2
so
minutes.
so it'd be up your alley. I mean, we're very connected into all aspects of Chicago media and communications, Sophia, as you're getting the feeling. And so we literally have like 6 data and insights, like research related folks in-house from Mars Inc., the parent company to like Mars Foods, Mars Wrigley, Mars Pets, like visiting with classes tonight. And our events are open across our areas. It's not like we're like stay out, stay away. It's our stuff's open. Like we're very collaborative across our grad programs.
And to add to that question, and anyone interested in career development, I also have to shout out the Career Center is a great lifelong resource that you can utilize even after graduation. You can always come back and receive personal career coaching from industry professionals, and they can help you, you know, tailor and include all of these great things that you're learning in the classroom and how to apply that to your resume so that you can continue to level up in your career. And they'll help you from anything like resume creation to interview prep, just helping you get up to speed so that you can talk about everything that you're learning here in the classroom. Alrighty, let's go to our next question with Maddie. Thank you for being patient.
Hi. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to just gather a bunch of information. I'm more of a kind of mid-career person, so I've worked in communications and events since 2018. And I attended this one because I've already attended an info session with the Jarvis College of Computing and Digital Media. So I mean, I might also be interested in the communication and media masters, but I was most specifically looking at the digital communication and media arts. And I guess I'm trying to understand the collaboration between the two colleges and the differences in the two pathways. And then also a follow-up question. So very interested in major events and festivals. So the Lala U opportunity was of interest to me. And I guess follow up to that would then be if you go in the Jarvis kind of pathway in the more media arts, are you able to still participate in that?
Yeah, so welcome. So glad to hear. The two con it's a real collaboration. It is one degree program with two different kinds of concentrations. And so they have different elective requirements, but everybody takes the same core classes. You take a core class in Intro to Digital Communication and Digital Media Ethics, kind of on our side, and then core classes in creating media and creative process and strategy on the School of Design side. And then if you are in the School of Design concentration, you have to do a thesis. Everybody there does a thesis. If you're on the digital communication side with us, thesis is an option, but you could also do a finishing project or a capstone project like the one that I mentioned before, where a student turned a paper into a video essay, or you can write what's called a reflection paper that's geared for students who have already gotten the next job that they wanted to say, okay, how can I kind of encapsulate everything that I've done in my degree and apply it to this new job that I have. There are no restrictions on if you're a grad student in the program, you're a grad student in the program. There's no restrictions on like what classes you could take. You'd absolutely be able to take the Lollapalooza U class. You'd be able to take the C2E2 DePaul class with me. We've just renamed fan conventions and events to kind of cover a wider breadth of events, but we still have a really strong partnership with C2E2, no matter what concentration you were in.
Now, we'll follow up as far as if you're wondering about the collaboration across the two colleges between the School of Cinematic Arts and us. There is some interplay, and our students, if you're taking our degree, do have the ability to take some courses over in cinematic arts, which is more largely production based. We do have some production courses in our college, but our classes tend to be more sort of theoretical studies based as a general rule. It's not hard and fast, but their classes over there will be more geared towards people that are interested in doing film production type careers or television or whatever sort of industry based. There are students that will take courses from they're in there and they want to take some of ours. I don't know that they have as much free will, so to speak, to take whatever they want on our side. I know that they can be kind of regimented in what they allow and don't allow to take in other colleges. We always allow, I know, at least two classes that you can take sort of across the street, so to speak. And then if you were to be a cinematic arts Jarvis student and you wanted to take something like the fan conventions or the Lollapalooza, I don't, Flavia and Matt might know the hard and fast on that. I suspect that because the Lolla course is so popular that we prioritize it for our own students rather than having students from across the university that all want to take it. So that would be a benefit of doing a sort of a media oriented degree through our college if you were specifically interested in the Lolla and the convention.
It's usually, if I've got this right, if I recall, it's a cross list that's within our college with a certain number of seats reserved for grad students and then undergrad. So that would be an advantage, yes, of our pathway.
Wonderful. I know we're almost at time, but I do want to give Harrison an opportunity for being so patient. Feel free to hop off if you have to, but I'm glad to stick around and answer your question, Harrison. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this event. This has been so educational. My name's Harrison. I'm in New Mexico, but I used to live in Chicago for 4 or 5 years, and I'm desperate to come back. It's such a beautiful city. I'm interested in the pop culture program as well. I guess my quick question is, I graduated in 2010 with undergrad in sociology, and I have been working in the professional, not working in sociology or academia since then. So I'm just curious about my letters of recommendation and what you might suggest for someone that's been on the professional track for the last few years without connections to higher ed.
Yeah, that's quite common, and we do see that a fair bit. And if you haven't kept in touch with professors, it's quite reasonable that you just explain the situation, that my letters are from people within my professional track, or if you've done media related volunteering, for example, that might be something attesting to your character and interests and drive. So that is not at all unexpected that you would be in that position. Matt, any other thoughts on that situation?
No, I was literally just putting into the chat, Harrison. It's pretty standard. Like if you've been out for a while, grad admissions and there's a grad review committee for each of the master's programs. They'll be understanding about that. So because you might have a relationship still, with a faculty member, you might not. You might have lost touch. So I would focus then on like current and former supervisors and colleagues and kind of go from there.
Great.
Yeah, and I would just ensure that, for optic purposes, that it's a nice full page letter, that it's watermarked, that it has their signature, all of that just adds to the letter. But making sure that they add details, related to your overall work ethic. Thank you, Dr. Dane, for joining us. Your goals, alignment with DePaul, your career goals, all that good stuff. So any professional reference that can speak to that would suffice the requirement for the letters of recommendation.
Fantastic. Thank you all. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Harrison. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, we're at time here, so feel free to hop off the call. Feel free to follow up. My email is on the screen, and I know Matt has been dropping tidbits throughout the call. Thank you so much for our faculty representatives as well for being here and sharing all the details about our program.
Thanks for all the good questions, everybody. We appreciate you
Yes.
joining. Big shout out to the faculty grad reps and to Flavio is doing yeoman's duty and supporting our grad programs. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you all.
Great.
Good day.